All right, what's going on, everybody? We got a Dandadan stream today. Obviously, this is the start of a new exciting fight in Dandadan, excuse me. And like the title suggests, I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried because it's a big fight with villains that we already know, and they could have some new crazy powers. And it's on a plane, which, you know, nothing good ever happens on a plane, right? We saw the movie with the snakes on the plane and, you know, all that crazy stuff, right? JoJo was on a plane at one point and they were like, all right, we got to get off the plane. This is no good. So, yeah. I haven't read the chapter yet. I know people were excited about this chapter. Last week's chapter was really good. I'm excited to read it, but obviously, if you're on a plane, not the best place to get attacked by weird villains. We got Donut Lord again in the chat. How we doing, Donut Lord? Edens, what's going on? Civi, if I pronounced your name right. Pleasure to have you back. Art by Vaughn. Well, hello, Vaughn. Pleasure to have you. Is this about the animation? Nope, we're just talking about the new chapter today. Snakes on a plane. Exactly. What's going on, Justin? Pleasure to have you. Yeah, I'm excited. Sylvie. Sorry about that. Zilvi. I mean, I was close. I missed one consonant, but that's okay. I'll remember it next time. So I'm just talking about the chapter today, although if we have some extra time, maybe we can talk about season 2. Are there concerns about Dandadan's animation? That's the first I'm hearing of it. Also, how was everyone's weekend? Because obviously there was no Shonen Jump this week. So, I mean, what do you do as a Shonen Jump fan when there's no Shonen Jump on a Sunday? Do you just kind of like stop existing? Like, do you just sort of like crawl into bed for the next 7 days? Whatever. Anyway, fun fact. I'm a Red Sox fan, as you can tell. I'm also a One Piece fan. So this weekend, I was at a Red Sox game. You might have seen the social media team pushing this, but I was at a Red Sox game where they gave out special edition One Piece jerseys. It was a Red Sox One Piece collab at Fenway Park. The jerseys are awesome. I'll have to wear it on a special occasion during the stream. They gave out something like 6,000 jerseys. Very nice jerseys. They're not like, you know, elite or anything like that, but they're nice. They look cool. They're nice colors. Unfortunately, the Red Sox lost, but it was a fun game. So I had a fun weekend. I hope everybody else had a fun weekend. Oh yeah, and by the way, Luffy completely missed the game pitch. They gave a Luffy mascot the pitch. He did make the plate. Some people throw the ball and they don't even make it to the plate, but he like shot it way over their heads. Chaotic said it was good overall. Just waiting for the new chapter. Well, on that note, let's get into some Dandadan. Excuse me. So the recap from last week's chapter is we found out that Momo's curse and everyone's curse is getting worse. Gigi can barely see anything. The old man is getting older and older. And not only can like almost no one see Momo, but everyone's starting to forget who she is. Like if you even say her name, people don't even know who she is. Really, the only person who knows who she is right now is Gigi. Even Seiko is forgetting about her, which is crazy. And they're on the plane, but they're being followed by the Subterraneans, the Kito family, if I remember that correctly. Anyway, so they're on a plane. It's bad news. Unji's hair is stylish as always. So let's see what's going on. They're on the plane. Gigi is freaking out. He says, are we doing this? Are we really going to fly? I'm guessing Gigi hasn't flown before. Maybe? I don't know. He seems incredibly unnerved, whereas everyone else seems pretty chill. So Momo falls off of Gigi during the takeoff. She falls onto Ouji's shoulder. He recognizes Momo by her voice. She's just happy that he can recognize her, right? And they kind of have like a buddy-buddy dynamic. It's not quite like Gigi and Momo's dynamic, but they have like a buddy-buddy dynamic. She says, I can't see you. My eyes are completely shot. He says, I can see you, girl. And she's like, don't call me girl. I hate when people call me that. So apparently Momo never told Ouji her name, which is weird. And of course, Gigi's got to have a weird moment. Gigi says, you don't need to tell him your name. You go to different schools, plus you're complete strangers to begin with. Once this business is over, I'd prefer you not have anything more to do with it. Like, what? This is... It's so funny because I feel like I just had a conversation during last week's chapter about how Gigi stocks are going to make a comeback because everyone is like over his weirdness now. And here he is being super weird. Like, it's funny because he met Okarun and he was like all for it with Okarun. He was like, oh, let's be buddies. Let's play soccer. If you're Momo's friend, you're my friend. With Ouji, he's like, yeah, dude, go home. Like, what? So, Gigi is a weird character for sure. Even Momo's like, what's the problem? I could at least tell him my name. But now Ouji is kind of pissed off. He's like, yeah, I don't want to have to do anything with you either, but how I interact with her is up to me. And I intend to continue to be involved with her for the foreseeable future. And I won't be taking any complaints. Gigi is like, what do you mean involved? And Ouji is like, dude, get your head out of the gutter. I'm not some clingy boyfriend. Get a hold of yourself. So basically Ouji stocks went like this and Gigi stocks went like this because Gigi decided to be super weird and a clingy boyfriend when he's not even a boyfriend. And Ouji was like, yeah, whatever. This is like, I don't care. But also, don't tell me what to do. You're being weird. Quit being a weirdo. And yeah, he kind of just won the day. Even when Gigi had to be super weird. Basically, Gigi is pulling an Ira right now, which is like super out of character for him. That's right, Gigi and Ira were still skeptical about Ouji because they weren't a part of that Jumanji arc. So with a character like Ira, I totally understand that because Ira is like, not like a serious character, but like a smart character, I guess, where she's like, okay, we have our friend group. If you're not our friend group, like who the hell are you? She's like very protective, I guess, would be a good way to put it. But this is like completely out of character for Gigi because even with Okarun, who was a friend of Momo and was clearly interested in Momo, Gigi was like always friends with him, always wanted to be his friend. Never in one moment was he like a bully or like, hey, who do you think you are? Like, she's mine, right? But with Ouji, who Momo says is her friend, Gigi is like, yeah, no, dude, get out of here. Like, once this is like, you're done. this isn't happening. All right. No interest in being his friend. It's super weird, and I don't know. It's hard to be a GG fan sometimes. It really is. I think it's because Zuma has his gang vibe, while Elkaroon is just naturally approachable and trustworthy. Yeah, but like, who in the friend group is normal, right? Like, Hinta is super nerdy and kind of creepy. GG's all for it, right? We got Gamer Chan Leanne, seemingly renewing the membership for 2 months. Has become a member? Yeah, I've renewed the membership. What's going on, Leanne? Pleasure to have you, and thank you for renewing your membership, which, of course, is a good reminder. If you love these streams and you would like to show off some custom stuff like Dr. Stone loyalty badges and some custom emojis, make sure to become a member today. Recruit member or recruit tier is just $2.99 a month. You get the emojis, you get the badges, you get priority consideration for replies and comments. There's other tiers. You can get credited in videos. You can get access to exclusive polls. Once we get enough people, I'll start doing exclusive polls to decide which manga and anime I actually talk about and which manga and anime I cover in streams. So if you want to be able to pick all that stuff, if you want cool stuff like Leanne and Eden's, make sure to become a member today. Remember, recruit tier is just $2.99 a month. Thank you, Leanne. How you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. Anyway, so moving on with the chapter. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Had a great weekend. But like I was saying, excuse me, I keep scratching my nose. So Ouji calls out Gigi, rightfully so. He gets all embarrassed. He says, "I hate you." Ouji is like totally enjoying this moment. He's like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "Oh, nothing." Momo is like so over this. She's like, "Why can't my friends just be friends?" Even Famola is saying what I'm saying. She goes, "Why is Gigi so angry? That's rare." Someone who is totally team Gigi, right, is like, this doesn't really seem very Gigi. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Gigi is just accidentally making this look like a romance battle, while Ouji is just like, "Don't tell me what to do." Literally, like, they're so like not on the same page. Like, Gigi is making this like a romance thing, and Ouji is like, "Can we just chill? Like, what are you doing?" Ouji stocks again through the roof. Gigi wants to trade seats with Vamola. "I can't stand being next to Ouji. You're one embarrassing son of a bitch. Typical clingy behavior." Vamola says, "Gigi is a good person, so please don't make him angry." Which, you know, is a reasonable take. She's not saying like, "Hey, quit being a dick." She just says, "Hey, Gigi's a good guy, so why don't we separate you two?" And Gigi's like, "All right." Or Unji's like, "Okay." She is a little angry, right? She's like kind of upset because Gigi is her friend, and Gigi's always been, you know, like buddy with her. And now Unji's kind of pissed off, but again, he's the bigger person here, and he knows he's just gonna end up the loser if he tries to fight Gigi. So he's like, "Let me go move over." Momo's like, "Anyway, yeah, so the flight's good." Seiko is like completely overwhelmed for some reason. Excuse me. She's like passed out too, and they're like, "Should we call somebody?" And she goes, No, I'm fine. And now somebody is approaching, wearing a mask, shades, a hat. He says, maybe if I use my chi, I can make you feel better. We have Arthur King in the chat. How you doing, Arthur? I'm doing good. Pleasure to have you. And we got RN Snorlax back in the chat. How you doing? Pleasure to have you again. Pretty sure Ouji knows that Momo is into Okarun. I would have to look back and see if he noticed that. But Ouji seems to be a little more self-aware than Gigi. Gigi seems to be a little more oblivious. Well, I don't know if oblivious is the right word. The moderator just subscribed. Well, thank you, the moderator. Welcome to the channel. So anyway, back to the chapter. Gigi's like, okay, I can use my chi, right? I have spiritual abilities. I can help you. He's about to get attacked, but then Ouji stops the attacker with his umbrellas. Now everyone's like, what the hell just happened? He has a knife. Futa reacted on his own. There's an enemy on board. Also, Oscar L just renewed his membership. Hello, Oscar. Pleasure to see you as always. Good to have you back. Hello there, manga fellas. New chapter going. How's the new chapter going? New chapter's great if you're an Ouji fan. If you're a Gigi fan, not so much. No, Futa, his brother, acted by himself. Oh, I see. Oh, so his brother is the spirit? Oh, that makes sense. Honestly, I didn't remember that about his powers. I thought they were... Or is that... Do I have that wrong? Didn't he get his powers from Saint Germain? Am I crazy for thinking that? Now I'm confused. Okay, so... Yeah, I'm confused about that. If somebody in chat could, like, explain it to me like I'm stupid or I haven't read this manga before, that'd be great. Because apparently I don't remember it correctly. Seiko breaking out the badass karate kicks again. She's really rocking the whole, like, kung fu miniskirt look. Kill Bill, I guess you could call it. So anyway, the Subterraneans are attacking. Everyone is on full alert at this point. Vamola is just kind of chilling. Momo obviously can't really do anything. No, just kidding. Then she went and did something. Now Vamola is throwing on her jacket. She breaks out the, like, Godzilla suit, and Gigi is like, what just happened? Right? He's like, she turned into a kaiju. That's awesome. Okay, so Vamola summons empty space with her kaiju suit, and so now it's just Momo's group and the Subterraneans. I started to fear that Zuma had forgotten about Momo's name. I laughed hard when the manga made me realize that he still doesn't know Momo's name after so many chapters. I feel like if you hang out with a person long enough, granted this is only their second time hanging out, working together, I feel like if you know a person long enough and don't know their name, it's just awkward at that point. Like, you kind of have to be like, yeah, you never told me your name. Futa, his brother, became the Umbrella Ghost and gave his powers willingly to Ouji, and Saint Germain gave Ouji Okarun's ball to use those powers in the board game. Okay. So he didn't give Ouji one of the Ashura knives. He just gave him Okarun's ball. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. Now I get it. So he got his powers from his brother. So he got them from an actual spirit. And the thing with Saint Germain is kind of a separate issue. Got it. Happy Revenge of the 5th, everyone. Is that today? Honestly, if I wasn't so busy working, I would love to go watch that. So that's actually a perfect segue, because that brings up something I'd like to talk about. But let's finish talking about the chapter. That's how it be at the workplace sometimes. See all these faces in a few, you don't know what to call them. So, side tangent. If you don't know a person's name, in my experience, it's better to just say, hi, my name is, what's your name? Like, hey, I don't think we've met yet. Or, hey, we haven't met yet. The longer you put that off, the more awkward it becomes. And the more, like, anxious the dynamic gets. Which is kind of what we're seeing here, right? They're still very anxious, I guess, around Ouji, around Zuma. So the leader of the Subterraneans says, I never imagined they were bastards from that side. So can only... Yeah, only the aliens can create empty space. That's right, because Turbo Granny can't do it. The Subterraneans could never do it. Evil Eye can't do it. Right? Am I crazy for thinking that? I feel like that's only the aliens. Empty space. Alternate dimension that aliens are able to summon. For some reason, I thought some of the spirits could do it too. But that's right, it's only the aliens. That makes sense. I think the Mom Keto recognizes Volmola's suit as Kermaid. Could be. Well, because the spirits all know about the aliens, sort of. And the aliens generally know about the spirits. They have like a weird arm's length relationship. Only aliens. Okay. I want to learn to read kanji because apparently there's something that gets lost in translation with the way Vomola speaks. In what way? Let me see. Is there like a post you saw that in? Yeah, I don't know. That's the first I'm hearing of that. Oh, wait. Here we go. Maybe? Chapter 192? Yeah, I don't speak Japanese, so... Oh. In Japanese, Vomola called... So this is for chapter 192, so last week's chapter. In Japanese, Vomola called Zuma Omai, which is a masculine way of saying you, and it's rude to call a stranger Omai. Then she ended a sentence with Deska, which made her words very polite. So the joke in this panel is Vomola is trying to be threatening while making adorable face and speaking politely, but it's a thing that can't be translated into English. Okay, I see. So apparently, with Vamola, because she learned Japanese from everyone in the friend group and they all speak kind of different, she like half speaks proper, but also like speaks kind of like a thug, like Momo, sort of. That's a fun fact. Now I know. The more you know. I have to find it. Apparently she speaks politely and rude at the same time. Apparently you're right. The nuance is that she matches those closest to her, Momo, Okaroon, and apparently Gigi. But it sounds like it's a lot of Momo, which is funny. So here's an important question. Who is piloting the plane? The plane stopped in the air. The pilot was also transferred. Or maybe they will start falling. Oh, yeah, because that might be a sort of suspension of disbelief question. It also depends on like how big is the empty space. That's a tough one because that depends on the nature of the empty space. Because it's described as, or at least on the Wikipedia, I don't know about officially, it's described as another dimension. So it's like, I don't even really know how to begin to answer that one. My guess is that time just sort of stops for them, if that makes sense. Like obviously time isn't stopped, but like they're in a space where everything kind of stops. And then when they go back, it's like they kind of resumed time, I think is the best explanation. She and Momo are like sisters. That's kind of the dynamic, right? Because she's so close to Gigi. Obviously, she's friends with Okaroon too. And then Momo is the person she like really looks up to. Which, of course, just goes back to the idea that I bring up again and again and again, that Dandadan has one of the best casts of characters ever. So great Dandadan chapter this week. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. If I'm feeling really good, maybe 8 out of 10 just because of the character dynamics, but I'd say like 7 out of 10. They're in a parallel universe that's still technically tied to it, so the pilots are still flying the plane, but also consider the autopilot systems that are usually active in commercial flight. This just seems like one of those suspension of disbelief questions where it's like, I'm just going to pretend that I'm not going to think about this one, even though it probably doesn't make that much sense. It's not like Dr. Stone where I have to be like, wait a minute, how does that work? For a series as goofy as Dandadan, I can kind of give it the benefit of the doubt. So somebody brought up Revenge of the Sith and how they're re-showing Revenge of the Sith at a bunch of movie theaters. Question for everyone in stream: how do you feel about movie events? And when I say movie events, I mean like, I guess specifically nerdy movies, or like when they re-show a movie and it's like kind of like a group thing. I've never really been a fan of going to see either like nerdy movies or like anime movies, because I feel like you get some real weirdos, or especially like, I don't know about you guys, like when I like to watch a movie, I just want to watch a movie. I don't want to like shout and clap, right? One of my biggest pet peeves is when people clap in a movie. Like, I like the Marvel movies. I hate, like, especially during all the Endgame movies, when people would like clap at like every little minor cameo or whatever. I'd be like, can we just watch the movie? Even with the movie, like, I went to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That one wasn't that bad. But at the same time, there were a couple of moments when people were like, "Ooh." And I get it, right? Like, it's a movie. People are going to get excited. I have no problem with that. But I remember I went to go see the last One Piece movie I saw in theaters was Stampede. And like, people were clapping at like every character moment. Like when the Straw Hats showed up, when Sanji had a moment, when Zoro had a moment, when this character had a moment, like everything. People are clapping at everything. And it's like, do we really have to clap through the whole movie? And like, especially like people will like make comments, like they'll shout, be like, whoa. I don't know. That's just me. I don't want to pay for movie events, would rather watch at home. It's not even, I would love to go to the movies. It's just sometimes for me, it's just the people that go there and kind of ruin the experience for me. I like them, even though I may have already seen them on TV. I can get the experience of seeing it on the big screen. We had people at the end of the movie do a lightsaber battle. Okay. That is actually hilarious. That's funny. I think the only time I've been a part of something like that was in Endgame and maybe Black Panther. Yeah, Endgame was the big one. Endgame was like, everyone was like clapping. Like, come on guys, really? We gotta clap for the whole movie? At Film Red, everyone was singing. See, I don't like that. Like, if I was at a convention and they were showing a movie, that's totally different. Because you're at a convention, you're not at a movie theater. You did not go to the convention to just watch movies. You went to the convention to convene, to mingle with other fans. So the movie is supplementary to the fans. A movie theater is complete opposite. If you were in a movie theater, you should not do anything to impede the movie attending experience of other viewers. So like, if you want to get excited about the movie, get excited about the movie. But not everyone wants to hear you clap at the movie theater, right? That's just me. I have a feeling I'm in the minority. Oh my god, we're getting some weirdos. Trust me, nerds in these types of theaters are gentlemen compared to if you go see the Minecraft movie. Well, that's just an age gap, I feel like. I could be wrong. I didn't see the Minecraft movie. With something like Minecraft, obviously, you're going to get a lot of young people. Did you see the Minecraft clips? God, I could only imagine. The second time I went to go see Endgame with friends, I did have that one person who clapped and overreacted, gasped through nearly every part of the movie. I remember I went to go see the first Avengers movie with Loki and the, what was the army? The Chitauri. There was a scene at the end of, so there is a scene, I should say, at the end of the Avengers, because the battle was in New York, and after the battle, towards the end of the movie, it says Stark, but then all the letters fall, and it just says A, and somebody in the theater literally went, oh my god, I get it, it's A because it was Stark, but now it's A because it's the Avengers. That's so friggin' fun. I'm like, yeah, okay, do you need to tell the whole theater that? Stupid. TikTok vids and memes made going to the movies acting crazy seem like that's the norm. I have not seen the chicken jockey clips. I've just heard about that, but like, it's just like everything about the Minecraft movie is different. Like, I could actually, if I had the free time, I would have gone to seen, I don't know about Star Wars, but he yelled that out. Yeah, somebody literally yelled that out. The thing about Star Wars is, like, I've seen it so many times, it doesn't really make a difference if I go see it at the movie theater. I feel like certain movies are worthy of, like, re-showing, right? But something like Minecraft, that was a highly commercialized movie. You've got Jack Black in it. It seemed like it was just a lot of cameos and, like, hey, here's Minecraft, but it's a movie, right? Like, not like, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, where, like, those are actually stories, right? They're not just, hey, it's Sonic, but it's a movie. The Minecraft is a meme experience. It really just seems like an hour and a half of memes. That, to me. Before Minecraft, you'd see some movies where people purposefully are screaming and overreacting. I mean, Avengers for me, that's where I always, or Marvel, I should say, is where I would get the most of it. I never really saw that for Star Wars. With Star Wars, the only real overreaction was when I saw the first movie of the new trilogy, people would clap. With Star Wars, I kind of get it, because especially with that first movie, it had been like 10 years since a new Star Wars movie had come out. So obviously that was a special occasion. I can kind of understand, like, clapping if a character makes a cameo, right? Like, it's a special moment. Well, like, especially with Marvel movies, when you're getting a new Marvel movie, like, every quarter, like, do we have to freak out at everything? Come on. I think one was the last Spider-Verse movie. So this is a new topic for me. When I say screaming, I mean, like, cheering, like they're at a concert. Like, exactly. Like, we're at the movies, not a concert. I took my kids to see Minecraft. They all got to meet. That's awesome. See, that again, it's like, that's why it's kind of a kid thing, because kids don't want to sit down with a glass of wine and be like, yes, they really got the chickens right. Like, no, kids just want to go and be like, oh, that's the thing in the game. So Hayden Christensen made a special message for before the movie, and that's where the audience got super excited. That was special. That's not the movie, so I can kind of understand that. And again, it's like, that's not like an original debut. This is like totally for the fans. So at that point, it's like, you're kind of signing up for that. That's different. We have, and I am totally going to butcher your name, Gajello Grace Mabasa. Hopefully I said that right. Yo Shonen, I continued Dandadan from the manga, and the continuation was terrible. Don't get me wrong, I love manga, but Dandadan wasn't hitting it for me. Should I push through or leave it that? Question, what didn't you like about the manga versus the anime, and where did you stop reading? I'm curious to hear, because most people, they go from the anime to the manga and they love the manga. But this is why I like when people tell me these things, because I learn new experiences, new takes. My kids are 9, 11, and 12. Perfect. Exactly. I mean, I have little cousins who are that age. They freak out at everything. What was I going to say? Oh, how do people feel about Spider-Verse these days? I feel like in the time we've been waiting for the third Spider-Verse movie, I feel like it's gotten too big for its own good. I feel like people have way too many expectations for Spider-Verse. And I feel like, what's his name? The voice actor for Miles has gotten really weird, right? Especially with how Haley Steinfeld has like continued to do her own thing. And what's his name? Mike Moore? Is that his name? I don't want to mispronounce his name. I can't remember it specifically. I would know it if I saw it. And I know what he looks like, but it feels like he takes his job way too seriously. And I'm a believer of, you know, the author is dead, right? And I apply that to everything. Like, I don't, for the most part, I try to ignore the person that plays the character. I just care about the character. But I feel like it's gotten to a point where if you have any familiarity with the actors of Spider-Verse, specifically the guy who plays Miles Morales, it's like almost difficult to take him seriously now because he's such a weirdo, which is a shame because that really is like an important movie. It's important for anyone who has any appreciation for animation because it's such a good movie for animation. And, you know, it's also a big deal because it's one of the, it's arguably the biggest superhero, Spider-Man, you know, in one of his versions where he's not white, right? Like if you're not white, you get to see Spider-Man in, you know, a different iteration, which is awesome. But that gets ruined because he's being a total creep and a weirdo. So it's like, ooh, that's not so good. Maybe we should go back to the other Spider-Man. Shamik Moore. Okay, I was close. What did I call him? Kamik Moore? Shamik Moore. I was close. People love Spider-Verse still. The problem is the delays. Anytime we get news about the movie, it sounds like they haven't started. What annoys me the most is when they make a mess with popcorn and you find morons who defend them because they're just having fun. If you go to the movies, clean up after yourself. Don't be a dick. People have to work there and they have to clean that theater. And here's the other thing too, right? Like in my neighborhood, we have a movie theater. It got shut down because of a rat problem. If you like going to the movies and you like your movie theater, keep it clean. Don't make it a rat's nest. It's gross. Exactly. Someone probably had a terrible day at work. Dandadan is not for everyone, but damn, it is good. Plus, if you like the anime, seems you would like the manga. The anime shows the weakest arcs. That's the thing, right? Like, it only gets better after season 1. Also, the Shamik Moore stuff is weird. It's super weird. Ren just subscribed. Thank you, Ren. Welcome to the channel. Pleasure to have you. Excuse me. I love the first Spider-Verse movie. Hated the sequel and have no hope for the coming ones. I like them equally. I feel like they do different things well. I feel like the first one is like a classic Spider-Man movie, and the second one is a little more like Avengers. I'm trying to ignore the actor playing the character, me going to the third movie with the Polish dub. That's funny. So let's talk about Dandadan season 2, because Dandadan, we have May, June, July, so it starts in like a little over 2 months. I feel like this would have been a better time, although, so we have, so May, June, so 8-ish chapters of Dandadan until they pick back up the anime. I feel like it would have been better to reintroduce the Subterraneans in the summer. I feel like this is like 2 months too early. And of course, right, like I can't pick and choose. I feel like it would have been perfect timing if you had the Subterraneans come back in the manga at the same time they're being introduced in the anime. Excuse me. Who knows? This fight that we're just now starting could go on for longer than 8 chapters, and they could just barely coincide. I tend to doubt it. I tend to feel like this fight is going to end before the first week of July. Again, that's just me. Grace, and I'm going to say Grace because I don't want to butcher your name again. Grace just subscribed to the channel. Well, thank you, Grace. Appreciate you. Glad to hear your take. And make sure to check out my other Dandadan videos. Who knows? Maybe you'll appreciate the manga more when you check those out. But yeah, hope to see you at some other streams as well. So do I tough out the manga or just quit it altogether? I stopped at chapter 45 and the vibes were odd. I continued from where the anime ended. The story was nice, but something about it felt a bit lackluster. I would do this. So as a community, let's solve this problem together. So let's see, chapter 45. Yeah, so that's in the middle of that arc. So where would chapter 60 take you? Yep, that's something different. 67. 76. And that's what? Okay, so Grace, here is my recommendation for you. So I am biased because I have said a number of times on this channel, live and in videos, that I feel that Dandadan is the best ongoing current series. Best ongoing series. So obviously I'm going to tell you to keep trying to read the manga. That being said, because I feel that way, I think it's only fair to yourself to give this manga another chance, because I strongly believe it is the best ongoing manga. So if you ask me, not keeping up with this manga is depriving yourself of this generation's best story. That being said, here's my recommendation, especially if you feel like you're not feeling quite right with the manga. My recommendation for you, go back to chapter 1. Go back to chapter 1, start from chapter 1, and then read the manga at your own pace and read up through volume 9, because volume 9 is going to bring you through like the first real like alien arc, because it's going to introduce you to like the first big arc, but like it's not so into the story where it's like a chore. That is my recommendation. Read from chapter 1 all the way through volume 9, so that's going to be chapter 76. If you still don't like Dandadan after reading the first 76 chapters, then it is really not for you. But if you liked the anime, but you feel like for some reason the manga isn't working, start over again from chapter 1 and read through chapter 76. That is my recommendation. That's kind of what I did with Kagurabachi. I read Kagurabachi for a bit. I stopped. I picked it back up. I was like, this doesn't feel right. So I started over again from chapter 1. And the second time I caught back up with it, I was like, I like this a lot better. So I recommend that to anyone really, for any manga. If you read a manga, stop and come back to it and you don't like it, or if you start an anime, finish it, and then pick back up in the manga but don't like the manga, just start over again. Because sometimes it's not that it's bad or you don't like it. Sometimes you're just missing something. Like you're just confused and you don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but before season 1 aired, wasn't it originally 2 cores of 1 season before being called season 2? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. First, they were saying that it was season 1, parts 1 and 2, and after season 1, they started calling it season 2. I have my headcanon that the Weirdo family came back into the manga because the author saw the trailer for the 2nd season of the anime and said, oh, I forgot about them. I should do something with them. I have a feeling you're not wrong. Thanks for the advice. Good night, by the way. How do you track anime and manga? I track anime and manga because I follow Weekly Shonen Jump. So my recommendation is follow all the magazines, read the manga you like. Don't force yourself to read the manga you don't. And then from there, just follow the seasonal stuff because whatever is new in a season is going to be what everyone else is watching. So that's kind of like your benchmark for what should I try and watch myself. Yeah, the whole season 2, part 2, core 2 thing is interesting because it clearly seems to have had a net positive impact on the industry. It seems to mitigate burnout on animators, studios in general, but especially animators. But it's weird how they market it and treat it, because before they were very clear about like, no, this is still season 1, but like we're splitting up the cores, like 2 cores a year instead of like 1 big core. Now and this is recent, I feel like this is only in the last year or so, where now what would have been like season 1, parts 1 and 2, now they're just like, this is season 1 and then season 2 will come out in 6 months. It's weird to think about because if studios do this, then I feel like we'll be in a place where instead of like once a year, we get seasons, we get shorter seasons, but we get new seasons every 6 months or so, which is kind of what they did with Bleach, right? Because Science Sorrow could feasibly do what Pierrot did with Thousand Year Blood War. Thousand Year Blood War was like, what was it, like once every 9 months, once every 6 months? But they didn't call those seasons, they called those parts. With Dandadan, they seem to be calling it like season 1, season 2. They could feasibly have like 8 seasons. I would just say blame AOT. They were the first one to really do it big. I don't know. I talked about this in a video. I know Studio Wit was like really the first people to do it like in a major way, but I feel like somebody else did it before them. When I say track, I mean like where do you have evidence you completed? Oh, I don't really do that. I probably should. I just kind of like keep it in my head. That's a tough question for me. I probably should do something like that, but like I don't try to be a completionist, if that makes sense. I just like to read stuff, and if I like it, I like it. If I want to reread it, I'll go back and reread it. Speaking of which, one manga that I want to go back and reread is The Heroic Legend of Arslan, which is an adaptation of a Japanese novel series, but it's a monthly manga. It's illustrated by Arakawa, the artist of Full Metal Alchemist, and it's a story inspired by Iranian/Persian mythology. And it has to do with like, you know, like Arab culture, or excuse me, I shouldn't say necessarily, but Persian culture, Crusaders, Christianity, the Crusades, Jerusalem, all that stuff. So if you like movies like The Kingdom of Heaven, all that stuff, I cannot recommend that manga enough. It's been a hot minute since I've read it, so I'm going to be rereading it sometime soon. That's how some companies do Western media too. Yeah, I at some point I need to do like a personal research project and figure out who started that, because it generally seems to have a net positive impact, but it kind of annoys me. I need to get back on Arslan. So I just realized, because obviously I'm not reading Arslan like every new chapter, I just read the physical volumes. I had no idea it was only going to adapt half of the novels. So it's supposed to end with like volume 23 or 24 or whatever. I didn't realize it was in its final arc, and that final arc was not the final arc of the novels. So that'll be interesting to see how it ends. Life is easier if you don't think about it, Ouji, and just blame AOT. You're probably right. I try to give Attack on Titan more credit than people would like to, because people... Attack on Titan is like one of those series like JJK where like it had a not so great ending, and so people use that as an excuse to say that like the whole series was overrated, where like the series was always good. It's just the ending that was like, you can distinguish. It's fine. Differentiate. Either way, I just hope the animators and production crew are treated well. Again, it generally seems like it has a net positive effect, but this is me, Shonen Ouji, sweaty nerd, making videos from my computer. I don't work in the industry. I have no idea. How do I escape the completionist mentality? Read stuff at your own pace. Don't feel like you need to keep up with everybody else. Just completely remove FOMO from your vocabulary. Don't care if you miss out on a manga. Just read what you want, and don't force yourself to like read a massive amount of stuff. Just if something looks cool, check it out. Don't be like, oh, I have to read this. Finally catching up on Chojin X. Chojin X is a weird one that I'm going to have to... I'm actually planning on checking out Chojin X soon, because it's kind of like Zatch Bell, where I always see people talking about it. It's not like huge, but like you always see people being like, oh man, did you see the new chapter? Did you see the new chapter? Yeah, I need to read Damon's too, the new Arakawa manga for sure. I don't know about Japan, but in the West, it's used as a money saver. Say a company orders a 20 episode season, they can split it and just call them 2 seasons. Huh. That makes sense. Again, I don't know. That's kind of like when you compare comics and manga, because comics are monthly, but they're full color. Manga is weekly, but it's not in color. So it's like, there's trade-offs. The mangaka is releasing it when he wants, which is cool. Yeah, that is always nice. Anyway, that is going to be it for today's stream. Obviously, I didn't really have anything planned besides Dandadan, but I'm going to do something about that for the rest of the streams for this month. I'm playing a bit of catch up since I took the weekend to myself. I'm not sure what Thursday's stream is going to be yet. It'll either be a read-through stream or it'll be some kind of guided rant, which you intellectuals seem to enjoy so much. Videos this week. Can I tell you what's coming this week? Should I? Oh, yes. Ichi the Witch themed video and Astro Royale themed video this week, in addition to a Fire Force video as well. Of course, go check out my monthly post if you didn't see that already. That'll tell you a bit more, but really exciting videos this month, and we have some good ones this week. We'll figure something out for Thursday. I'm not sure what just yet, but thank you everybody. Thank you for a great discussion as always, and I'll see you soon.